in his cobalt blue eyes.
He would have loved you.
This man. A court? No. DNF. Puh. I don't know what I expected, but I don't think that was it. I'm just going to get straight into why I DNF'd Silver Elite. I went into this book with zero expectations. I hadn't read any reviews. I was purely buying it because I saw that Heather McClary had purchased it and she was really enjoying it. So I was like, yes, absolutely. Let's dig into it. Let's go. And it was making her want to run. And as somebody who's currently training for a half marathon, why? I need all the motivation I can get, okay? So when I picked Silver Elite up, I was expecting Hunger Games, Divergent, Dystopian, Red Rising, all of those things, right? All of those key buzzwords that you would expect when you hear the word dystopian. When I picked up Silver Elite and I realized what was about to happen and what was happening in this book, I was taken aback. I won't lie to you guys. Somebody compared this book to being like if Katniss was canoodling with a peacekeeper. Now I want you to think of that visual in your head. Think about that dynamic for a second because that is essentially what this is. I can't spoil this book too much because I read around 150 pages, which in my eyes, looking back, was more than enough that I needed to read. I probably could have read a lot less than this actually because this immediately gave the wrong vibes. The way in which this story started, if you haven't read the book, essentially the first, 30 odd pages in, we've already been introduced to the main love interest. There's already some sort of weird chemistry happening between the two of them. Even though they don't know who the other person is, sure, attraction at first sight, that's fine. I'm pretty sure their first conversation is about, haha, you know, you're not gonna kill me. Okay, so we're going straight into that, straight into hip thrusting with each other. I don't know, I just thought we would have a bit more time, but we weren't given that. It's a little insane that somebody thought, you know what, dystopian but spicy. Now I've seen reviews now, I hadn't seen them at the start, of people saying that this was, you know, a brain dead read, a fun read. I take issue with that. Dystopian should be making you fear for the political state of your own world. In my eyes, anyway. People might have other descriptors of what dystopian means to them, but when I read The Hunger Games, I was worried for my own life. That book and that series made me feel things that I probably shouldn't have been feeling at the age of 13, but I was. There is none of that feeling in this. There is none of that terror. There is none of that fear. There is none of that. It felt very Divergent in the sense of, obviously you can tell Divergent is set in a type of world that's meant to be dystopian, but you really only care about the main love interest. Like really, that's all you're there for. You are there for those two people. Or at least, I don't know what the books are like, but I know that the movie felt very much like that, and so I'm going off of the movie. But for this to be marketed as dystopian is just insane to me. I would have preferred if somebody had have said, this is a romance with dystopian elements. It's not a dystopian story, because it's absolutely not. There is nobody that can convince me that this is a dystopian book of any kind. And that annoys me, because I was so ready to enjoy this book and have a really great time, and I was just so let down. I was so let down, you know, this #1 book who, mind you, this author came out of nowhere. Let's talk about that for a second. I like the theory that there's somebody who is currently writing other works under their main pen name, and then this is just something that they wanted to like dilly-dally in, you know, bit of dystopian for a bit of tee-hee-ha-ha. But if it's somebody that I wouldn't typically buy from because I have personal issues with or a personal preference against, I will be annoyed. I will be pretty annoyed because the author came out of nowhere, and it's very apparent on the Instagram, but the fact that this has had so much push, I mean, some sort of social experiment to see like, woohoo, let's see how fast they'll buy this book. You know, was it written by AI to test us? Because when I tell you how this man was described, as somebody who on paper would be described as the most white bread individual, this man is the most white bread man I have ever read about in my entire life. This guy is inconceivably attractive. I don't think I've ever seen a better looking human, male or female. I'm momentarily lost in his cobalt blue eyes.
He would have loved you.
Peering down at me from beneath thick lashes. His hair is dark, swept away from flawless symmetrical features that could have been chiseled out of stone. Just the right amount of stubble shadows a strong jaw, and one corner of his mouth bears the indentation of a dimple. I wonder how pronounced it gets when he smiles, although judging by the cold, dangerous glint in his eye, I get the feeling he doesn't smile often. Can you give me a fucking break, please? Can you give me a break? What? The most attractive man, the most attractive male or female you've ever seen in your entire life. This man takes advantage of his position. Anyway, I don't like this book. If you are somebody who has been comparing it to the Hunger Games, maybe Divergent, maybe Divergent I'll let you get away with. But if you've been trying to compare this to the Hunger Games, we have a problem. You and me, we have a problem. No. DNF. Puh. I'm currently listening to A Court This Cruel and Lovely by Stacia Stark. I'm actually really enjoying it. I think I originally saw this on Emmy Rossum's YouTube. I think that was where I originally found it, and I bought the book ages ago, but I've just never gotten around to reading it. And then I saw it pop up on Libby, support your local libraries, and I thought that I would give it a read. So I'm 67% of the way in at the moment. I'm currently working. It is 11:52, and I think I'm going to continue to read some more because I'm surprisingly enjoying it. The romance isn't weird, but I definitely feel like it went from 0 to 100. Maybe I missed something. Maybe I'm just like not picking up what was being put down, but that's fine. That's okay. So I'm going to listen to it now. Went from 0 to 100. Wow. I don't know what I expected, but I don't think that was it. Like I've been saying, their relationship is just feeling 0 to 100. I don't know if there's, I mean, obviously there is some sort of link from them previously, like as explained in the story, if you've read it, but wow, it is moving so fast. It is not moving fast. I don't really know how to describe what I'm trying to say, but that scene was not what I expected. I'm going to go for a run. It's currently my lunch break. And I'm going to keep listening to A Court This Cruel and Lovely. I don't know why I looked at my bookshelf. I literally have it on my phone. So, it has been so cold in Melbourne recently. Like, I'm talking 0 degrees. Beneath 5. It has been so cold. And I've struggled to get out of bed so much. Even now, it is 3:50. And I want to nap because I'm cold, man. I'm so cold. Instead of doing that, we're going to read Legendary. I'm in a fantasy mood, not including Silver Elite. My work emails are apparently not working. I'm not getting any inbound emails, so what better time? I've been really enjoying Legendary. We also found out who Legend is. Shock horror, I did not guess it. A better person probably would have been able to guess it. My friend who I'm reading this with also guessed it. As I've said, I'm not good at these things. I'm not good at guessing these things. I probably never will be, but that adds to the intrigue. I'm almost done now. I bought Finale the other day in anticipation of finishing this, and I stand by what I've said in the past. I don't actually know if I've said anything about this series in the past, but I'm glad that I read this series first and not Once Upon a Broken Heart, because I feel like learning the prequel stuff after the fact has made me have more of an appreciation for... Get down. I apologize for looking bold in this clip. I do indeed have hair. It's just dirty. And I have a run tomorrow morning, so I'm not going to wash it for this clip. But I have to take issue with anyone who told me not to read this series. Am I toxic for loving Dante the way that I do? Maybe. I feel like Dante hasn't been given the love he deserved in any way. This man, I'm going to throw up. I've had such an enjoyable experience reading these books. I'm now just over halfway of finale. It's not better than Once Upon a Broken Heart. Don't get me wrong. To me, this is good. This is quality content. Dante is quality content. Jack's in this book. My man is quality content. Julian? I've loved that man since book one. The discourse that this book or this series is not, like, sure, it's not better, but it's not bad. I feel like all I've been seeing is people being like, it's bad. I must disagree with you. I must. I don't like to do that often. Actually, that's a lie. I disagree. And as I said on my Instagram story, I have beef with everyone who spouted discourse about, don't worry about reading Caravl series. I resent that. I resent that commentary because I love it. This is your sign to read the Caravl trilogy if you haven't already. Is it a trilogy now because they've got the 4th book? Regardless, this is your sign to read this series because I am having a gay old time. Alright, it's me 2 seconds later. I just love how whimsical these books are. I have never felt anything like these books since reading them, and that's really depressing. Every time I open a book, I hope for the same vibes that Once Upon a Broken Heart gave me, and nothing has come close. Nothing has come close to that. Speaking of, excuse my big ass forehead. Jesus. Can you see? We're doing one last check-in before I go to bed, and it is that I love Dante. And who knew that I just needed to read more Stephanie Garber? Probably a lot of people, but not me. I've been really enjoying it. If you watch the previous clips, you obviously know that I finished finale last night and that it crushed my soul and tore me into pieces because of Dante. And I'm giving finale 5 stars. I really think that this book rocked my world in ways that I wasn't anticipating. The whole series was a lot better than I was anticipating, obviously. I didn't expect it to be good based off of what other people were saying, which is maybe not the best way to go about things, but that was the way that I went about it. I'm so glad that I read this book. I'm so glad that I was pushed to read this book by that friend of of mine because I don't think I would have read it anytime soon. I mean, I was reading it, but I don't think that I would have read it as fast as I did, which I think I probably took, what, maybe 2 weeks? 2 weeks to finish it? Oh, sorry, is that in your way? But that's sort of where the vlog ends. I didn't finish I call it this Cruel and Lovely. The only books that I finished were Legendary and Finale, but still, 2 books in a week is pretty dang good in my eyes. Was I reading something else? Oh, and Silver Elite. No, it's just... there's been so much discourse on a post that I made about that book because I was very open about the fact that I didn't like it. And there were so many comments that were saying, oh, you know, I just had an open mind. Blah, blah, blah. It's so good that people went into it with an open mind, but unfortunately I went into it with the understanding that it was going to be like the Hunger Games, like the author said it was going to be. So when it obviously didn't live up to that, and obviously the writing was awful, of course I'm going to DNF it and be honest about it. Why would I not mention it because, oh, people are being dramatic? And does it hurt you? No. This author is clearly established. They've come out of nowhere. They have the marketing budget of a ridiculously famous author. I don't want to hear it, to be honest. And any discourse like that, I'm just like, I went into it positively originally. The first things I saw were positive. It's just a bit insane to me that people are still, oh, you know, you've got to have an open mind. I did. It was a bad book. No amount of open mind is going to change the fact that the writing sucked and that it wasn't a dystopian book like they said it was. Fans of the Hunger Games? No. Anyway, I'm not going to get into it again because this was the highlight of my last 2 weeks, or last week. Highlight of my year in terms of books at the moment, I think. And it was just really good. Really good. This is the end of the video. I don't really have much else to say other than I hope you're having a good day, a good evening, a good night, wherever you are in the world. And I'll see you in the next video.